Hello and welcome back once again to the workshop. This time I am intending to make a indexing jig for the lathe. Yes, I can buy one, but they're a bit on the expensive side. Plus I don't know entirely how often I'm going to use one, so I'd rather save my money for something else instead. So I've been designing and looking at stuff that you can see on the internet and such. So this is what I have drawn up in SketchUp. There is the outer ring is 60 holes. The next one is 48 holes, 36 holes, and down to 14 holes. I mean, my lathe also does 24 holes, so hopefully between the combination of the plate and also my machine as well, we'll have enough to cover as many bases as possible. I am just going to be making this from scraps that I have around my workshop, so hopefully this should work, but we'll find out, and I'll take you along for the journey. Hopefully you will enjoy and stay with the course. This is my lathe at the moment, and this is the bowl that I'm looking to do some piercings on. I'm hoping to be able to do piercings just in this little band here. That's probably going to be cut off about there. I haven't hollowed anything yet, but that's the plan, and that's why I want the jig. So the intention is that that's going to be the bolt that holds it to the lathe, and then this one should be the one that everything pivots from for the locator pin. That's the theory anyway. Too tight. That's better. Okay, so we have got to this stage. Put it all stay together. Right, so this is the bit that's going to sit on top of the lathe, and then this assembly will go in the, as you pin, that will go into the actual wheel or disc, and then we've got a bit of movement there to adjust between each of the, and movement there as well. It's all a bit rough and ready at the moment. I haven't tidied anything up, but yeah, I think it might even work. So now on to the bit that I've been dreading through this whole project, which is drilling all of these holes. I've been having a practice on the outside ones. I have been using an awl on its own, which was not bad. I've even got one of these automatic ones as well, which was a bit unsuccessful. I couldn't get on with it. And then I've also been using the awl and just a gentle tap. That seems to be about the best way I've found so far. So I've got quite a few to go, so I won't bore you, and I'll see you on the other side. Right, we're done, thank goodness. It went fairly well. I ended up using a little torch just to give me a bit brighter nearer the point of the awl, but yeah, got there. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to use a brad point drill, but what I don't want to happen is that this gets ripped off before I've got all the holes in. That's why I'm doing this, that's why I'm taking the extra care, and the more accurate I can get these holes, the better as also. Onto the drill press, and I'll show you just a few drilling on, and then you'll see the end product. I'm also going to put this hole in here. This is going to be 34mm, which is the hole size to fit my lathe, which is an M33 thread on the headstock. Okay, so we are fully holed up, if you like, for want of a better word or description. So now I've actually sanded this back on the belt sander just to the line. Doesn't do anything anyway, so it's just make it look pretty. Yeah, so I suppose the big reveal. Let's see if we can get the tape off and see what it looks like underneath. There we go. You can get off focus on that, but yeah, that's quite good. Quite pleased with that actually. Should do for the number of holes we've had to put in, but yeah, so let's see if we can mount it on the lathe and get the rest of it working together. Right, I've shortened the other side of this pin just so it's gone through here, or it doesn't go too far through, and so it just sort of drops in place. I mean, there's very little movement in that. I'm very surprised, but that's great. I've also locked up this so that it's now on that setting, but I suppose I can always, it will drop into, looks like most of the others actually. I hadn't tried that, so that's a new one on me as well. Ah, that's a Brucey bonus, so that's great. So at that height, but also because, I don't know whether you can see, let me just move down a bit, sorry for the camera change, there we go. There isn't too much difference between that slot thickness and the thickness of that, but there's just enough. I've slackened these two bolts, the bolt and the nut off, just so that it will drop into place. Just bring you back up again, sorry. So it drops into place, but you can still move it out and turn it to another position that you want, and it drops in again. And even by wiggling it, that's not going to come out. So I think we're almost there. So that's good. Quite pleased with that. Just wanted to show you that detail there. You can see that that pin really doesn't stick out very far, and then that's just a screw with a washer and spring washer on a wing nut. Nothing fancy. I don't know whether I mentioned this earlier on at all, but this was a cam clamp that I made for something a long time ago and didn't get used, but I thought it was ideal for this. So I mean, all you're doing is this is sitting on your bedway, that turns like that, and it just lifts it up and locks in place, which works quite well once you get the screw in at the right height. Right, we've got to the end of that. I will try and show you some still pictures at the end of that bowl after I've done the piercings, but for the jig itself, that's my take on it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, stuck with me. I've tried to make it as interesting as possible without boring you to death. But the worst bit, in my opinion anyway, is putting all them holes in. But it's done. It works. Actually works better considering what it's made from than I ever expected it to. But yeah, it works. So if you enjoyed, please like. If you aren't already a subscriber, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It all helps. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe even consider sharing it. It will always help the channel grow. So thanks very much for your time. Take care. Yeah. This is just an addition to the video. Having used the setup, as you can see here, I've found that this, instead of having the cam clamp, instead of having a cam clamp, I've just put a little tiny screw, which I think works better. It's just into the back of a bolt. It seemed to be easier, a lot less fiddly, and took up a lot less room also to set up. Let's see what I can show you. Hand's probably going to be in the way, but apologies. I think that seems to work better than the cam clamp, but that was, so far, that's the only addition or change I've made to the original build video. So Okay, so where I've got to is this so far. You've seen